Everyone rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will open the Newton County budget workshops for the 2026 budget. I think everybody's got their books and schedules. Tammy, anything particular you want to go over before we?
You'll find in your books on the front page. I had emailed it to you guys too. Just to kind of quick go over this is. When you're looking at the sheet from Baker Tilly, the very first line is, that's what they're saying, our 25 ending balance, but our beginning 26 should be. So they've taken what we budgeted in 25, and if we spent everything, that's where they're trying to get our beginning cash. Then the next line is the estimate of what we're supposed to get in receipts. Then the next line 4 is the line where everybody's put in their budget, what we're gonna spend. Then in that orange line is what is estimated to be our ending cash. Line 8, the net cash flow. So that means if it's a negative, we're using cash reserve money. If it's a positive, we're not touching the cash reserve. So the receipts are higher than what we're spending. And then she's telling you what we have as an operating balance in the end. And so our goal is to hit the targets no less than 15, but 25% is healthy. Looks like most of ours are pretty healthy, except we are using a lot of accounts that are at a cash reserve or using cash reserve money.
So on the their estimates of our beginning balance, are they projecting that we spend everything in the 25 budget, or did they?
Correct.
So any cash that's left in a budget at the end of the year would actually increase the beginning balance.
Correct.
And then on their disbursements, that is what has been requested in our book right now. If we
Yeah.
weren't to make any changes that was requested, that's what this. I think.
Yes. This is kind of what she led. She didn't know what we were budgeting for, but that's her prediction. She was, that's the other thing. She did also say, Cume cap or Cume bridge could change. I am still working on my C now. I'm hoping in between breaks and stuff, I have some questions. And some errors trying to upload in the gateway, so I gotta get those fixed. So this week they'll have our C now, which is our certified net assessed value. Which will really pin down whether we're looking at for next year. We had a lot of glitches due to the SB1 getting in, so.
Is that why that wasn't in the book?
Oh, no, that was cum cap. Cumulative cap, we don't have a tax rate on it, so you're not appropriating any money in there. That's why we took it out. We have spent some, but we're not appropriating anything. And that can only be used on the jail and the courthouse. When we said that.
We had talked about it in the past. Putting a rate back on that. I don't think we have to reestablish it, right? We do, even because we just set, I thought when we set the rate at 0 years ago, we didn't. We didn't eliminate Q cap, we just set the rate to 0, so we wouldn't have to go back and reestablish it. That's not correct.
You still have to, because you took it to 0. I will confirm, but I know before I'm talking.
I remember when we did that, that was part of the discussion. We didn't want to eliminate it. We just wanted to not collect, and we advised them, I thought that we didn't take action to eliminate it, it would still exist at zero rate, but. And I don't know if we can do that now, but if there is a major jail renovation or a new jail in the future,
There is, I can tell you.
yeah, I know. We probably need to be putting some money back to that.
Surprised with how long the jail previously to the one we have now lasted.
Clientele's changed, maybe.
Could be, yeah. I don't know.
So what would have to take place to implement a new rate?
Well, I'm not sure. I thought
Yeah.
when we set it to zero, my thoughts were all we had to do was put a rate back in, but apparently maybe that
I don't believe so.
might not.
I'm under question right now.
And I don't remember what we were before. It was pretty low.
It wasn't even a half a cent.
Yeah, it was pretty low. In the previous council, they just decided to be best just to not have that one. Maybe. It didn't really change our taxpayers' total tax bill, because it wasn't finding much difference, but anyway, that's the fact. I think that's the sentence. Then, just remind everybody that, takes 4 votes to take action, so 6 of us here, it still takes 4 votes. Just a reminder of that. In the past, and we certainly don't have to do that, but in the past, we've started budgets lots of times with a motion to leave everything the same as last year. And then go through the book and make any changes from that, so that it does 2 things. A, if you have to skip a line, it's already said us before. And then a lot of budgets, they're basically the same as before, you technically don't have to take action, you've already done that. And I don't care what we do, that has worked. It's also made it more confusing at times too, but however you guys want to do it.
Sounds like we should.
I don't know, do you recommend we do that, Tammy, the motion to leave everything the same? As last year? With the exception of anything that would change by line item.
You mean for the salaries?
Well, for
everything.
You know, we normally have done that.
Usually you do salaries, but, however you wanna do it.
I don't care what it's,
Whatever
whatever
was
was
both ways and cover it all. Salaries obviously is what we usually address them in.
Yeah, yeah. And is that what we want to do again? Yeah, I would suggest that. All the 1,000 category will do it on the last day of the year. I'll make that motion. We can do that.
Yeah.
That motion right now.
Just to leave everything as is and then decide to change the salaries. Afterward,
1,000.
yeah, the 1,000 on the last category. After we get our numbers back, find out where we're at.
So, sorry, what's the motion you made? I'm excited to hear it.
To leave everything as it is now, but we'll go through and do line items afterwards with each department head. That way, if there's a line that doesn't get addressed in there, it just stays the same as it was last year.
Got it.
So,
There's a second.
I'll second it.
I heard Heidi first. Motion from everybody to leave all the budgets as the 25 budgets were approved, with the option to change individual lines as we go through the budget, as we go through budget workshop process.
yeah, that sounds good to me.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed?
Yeah, but based on the analysis you sent yesterday from Baker Tilly on our proposed budget for 26. Is the net result, could it possibly be that the council has to make a decision on raising the lid? meet budget requirements, or just what's the overall look at it now?
I mean, we can, because we still don't know what our taxes are gonna look like, for next year. Yeah, that's what they were saying, you could use, you'd have to raise your lit to subsidize your property tax if you want it.
You think that's coming? Or we kind of have to? I think we're probably gonna have to adopt a wheel tax, which isn't something to do with the budget per se, other than how it affects our highway reimbursement, correct?
Correct.
Is that something we would do at budget hearings this week, or is it something we would do in a
And
couple months?
you got a short window, I think you got to start in September,
We're almost there. So that we should
but I think
consider
the
that.
wheel tax has to go.
The house?
What he was saying, did do the basic, was it cut dry?
Yeah, that was the, not the wheel tax, that was the innkeeper's tax. Yeah,
Okay,
if we
you're
do the
right.
basic standard one, we don't have to do anything, just adopt it.
Correct, I got
Yeah.
it mixed up, yep.
I
you're
also think with the lit, it's currently a two-step process. I think one, we have to re-adopt that we're gonna collect it, because I think currently, if I understood Kendall right, the state axed it for everybody. So you, not only do you have to pick what the percent is, but you also have to currently have to re-adopt the tax.
right. That is right.
And we need to do that now.
That part I don't know. I don't know if that starts in 2026 or,
I think it starts in 2026, because they're not,
so we'd have to adopt it in 26 for 27, I think is the way it's currently, but if someone can confirm that.
Yeah, I thought, I didn't think any of that affected what we had to do this budget.
Right. Right.
But we need to make sure we get all that done
The timing,
in the right time,
Yeah,
so that next year we're not sitting here.
Yeah.
98 ball,
yeah.
answers.
which that would be. Need to confirm that through, right, Susan sometime. That's a resource. I would want to, talk about landfill. That's already.
The summary, the cash flow summary shows we're gonna be in a pretty good negative by the end of six. 1.7 million, something like that, if I remember right.
Yep.
That's pretty close.
1.1, so 1.2.
Which,
In looking at the budgets for the landfill funds. That's gonna be a considerable. There, that's a determine how we're gonna do that. Or address it. Now, I know we talked about possibly moving funds around. Perhaps like the landfill closure, moving some of that out, that to the landfill 4905. Help cover things. Good possibility is just taking like half of that, 6 million. So we don't totally complete it, and then we can work on fulfilling it. Or we could, depend on what our status and the general fund is, maybe move some of the landfill request in the general fund. I'm opening that up for discussion.
look, in my thoughts all along were closure for some projects. Then the discovery that maybe we couldn't do that because specific requirements by the state, and I don't know, that's kind of Linda was looking into that. And where would go,
read it with me.
I still. You're right, we need to figure out what we can't do with that. A lot of that closure money has gone. Some of that closure money has come from repayment of loans through to the towns, we're going to landfill money, payment back closure. Well, that money actually didn't come out of closure, some of it, I think some of it did. Early on, we were doing that. Whether we were supposed to do it, I'm not sure, but, I guess my thoughts are, money in there that really should have gone back, probably back into landfill. I think we can take that out anyway, or use it, so as much as take it out, but assign some of these requests to that, you know. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, spend it either way.
Right. Whatever the easier.
Well, did we also discuss, Scott, that we could amend how that was stated so that we could use it for different things? Is that, I mean, that's what I.
Oh, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And, let's just try to look that up now, good neighbor agreement. I did never know, I guess, or I had forgotten it if I did, that it's in the good neighbor agreement, I guess, that you will have a closure. But it doesn't state exactly what that has to be, if I remember right. But she's looking for it now.
Yeah, I had it at the same time.
That pertains to that in case.
But then that good neighbor agreement has been amended so many times that to make sure that it's in the current, the last version.
On Friday, Heidi and I went to the open house. Allied Public Place. PR thing, Josh McGarry, who's the GM, and Craig Grinsky, the operations manager. And they had a lot of tutorials and vendors and stuff explaining how they operate, and how many pods they're on and all that. It was very informative to me. And the main thing I took away from it is they've got another 37 years of income from the landfill based on current rates of 300 to 400 trucks a day. And that's what there's existing 642 acre site plan without expanding to the 80 acre surrounding. So that's encouraging to hear that from us for a lifetime, almost 37 years.
I think that's interesting because
It told me 2042. Josh told me 2042 a year ago.
few years, that 37 years seems to be the number they've been talking about for
Right.
4 years.
For the duration.
Yeah,
of it.
but
Oh, all right.
5 years ago, they said that.
Okay, all right.
But you were told that.
So that's what we thought. That's the 37
That's
years.
not the.
Sort of makes you wonder how that can happen. People that got built out there, so they.
Yeah.
But they're also clearing trees out of that parcel on the east side of that county road.
So.
Yeah, build dirt
That's
across the road to give more room to the landfill.
a
They
lot
took
of.
us on a tour, it's, you're really way out there, you can see that county there.
They have a look at it every morning.
And smell it every once in a while too.
See, a lot of what you see along 114 is just that dirt, right? That moving all that off-site so they can use that space. That's basically.
That's their coverage.
That's what they're intending to do.
So the landfill, what we're bringing in is less, right? What it's been in the history.
It seems to go down every year a little bit.
So what's that? Let's start worrying about our debt being honest with us.
Yeah, I don't know, so. At one time, we had truck counters, now numbers aren't. I don't think good, I'm.
Quite a bit. So you should think about doing it again.
I don't,
400,000. Almost.
I mean, they have to report so much, they're so highly regulated.
That's what Josh told me, but I don't think they can line that number of trucks, but we're supposed to get paid more for out of state trucks.
Right.
Is that gonna be?
Yeah, I don't, can't answer that, Steve.
I don't
We
either.
contact with one of the trucking companies while we were there. We wanted to know if they were doing what they should be while they're in the county and they were representing the company well. So maybe that's something that we can reach out to them and, because I did ask him, do you go to Buffalo also? Do you go here? Do you go here? How do you decide this and about the netting and so forth? And so, I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure it's numbers that they know where they're sending them and why they're sending other places farther away.
One time, a long time ago,
question as to stuff was refuge was being brought from Illinois into a transfer station in Indiana and reloaded.
To save the money.
And then it was, then they were trying to. It was in state, they had to pay us. Think that got cleared up. But I've never been involved in that, I mean, that's an area that might be looked at just to see.
But sure, for trustee that are numbers are down. But I can see.
It's all based on tonnage, everybody in the county that gets a portion of that landfill stuff, it's all based on tonnage. But it also seemed, from what I gathered a year or two ago, that the townships seemed to be getting. They took a big hit, and I don't know what that was, seemed like it was a bigger percentage hit than what we were getting. I think the commissioners at the time, and their attorney, were gonna look into that, and I never did hear.
Yeah.
I met him out there prior, but we had previous plans. Was it a good hiding bait for the Fourth of trip?
I thought so. I mean, it's nice to see, say, how many third-party companies, but how many people are there to make sure that all the rules are being followed and how many things are getting reported to IDEM and, you know, that there are other layers to it beyond just them saying they're doing the right thing. And the processes that it goes through, it's not just getting dumped in the hole.
Right, especially we talked about deep wells, we had a lot of vendors, there were a lot of vendors there that control those quality control issues in testing,
Water testing.
specific jobs like that.
I was downtown Chicago, so I'm guessing I was smelling the same stuff you were smelling.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, we had some Mount Air residents there too, asking a lot of good questions, so
Right.
they got their work out. If I reach out to this person, how many years worth of information do you think? So you just want a comparison to last year, last 2 years? For the number of trucks or weight?
The tonnage, that's on that spreadsheet, we get every month. In state, out of state, why can we do that? The spreadsheet of auditor's office goes back, she only prints this. Last 2 or 3 years. Printed by yes, I did.
Well, they might be.
So I think we got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Tom, that needs to be discussed at some point.
Well.
Did we find anything like this?
Yeah, I'll make you copy. Get those on.
Wait, should be read paragraph.
You want to read it right now? Or you want to make a
Yeah.
copy on what, yeah.
I'd like to sort of get this done now, so unless we can address it later, if it's gonna be a problem.
So the Good Neighbor Agreement says Newton County Landfill Partnership agrees that it will keep an amount as determined from time to time by item available for closure and post-closure of the existing landfill. Newton County Landfill Partnership shall similarly maintain whatever additional amounts are deemed necessary by item for the closure and post-closure of the landfill expansion. No withdrawals will be allowed to be made from such closure, post-closure account without the written permission of item. Now, this was from 2001. I don't know whether that has been amended, but I will look into that.
Does it indicate the amount that should be maintained?
No. But
I don't
it says
think-
no withdrawals will be allowed without written permission from item.
Has item ever checked for balances? Asked. Because I mean, 6 million would be dropped in the bucket at some point on other.
You're exactly right. And then we need to see a copy of our ordinance that created our fund. See what it says.
Well, it would have to, mirror pretty much what I just read.
Well, you think so?
That should be recorded somewhere.
It should, yeah, well, they haven't have it. Not with them, I'm sure, but.
I get it.
Well, maybe by. Well, we need to know that.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea, so we know where to move funds to. Because we can't, we obviously can't. You know, take it out of landfill, it's more than take it.
Tammy, do you know if on this, the cash flow thing from Baker Tilly, does that landfill, reflect? Well, when Susan was here a couple weeks ago, it did not reflect the $5 million, the commitment to GT Sports. Did she put that in? I think it must be, because I'm not sure. Remember we talked about that, her numbers didn't. What the hell? Well, no problem. Because we, if,
99% sure she corrected that, but
because if she didn't, then our numbers get worse on this sheet. Because. Right, I guess I'm a little bit surprised if it wasn't worse, that's why I wonder if we're in it. Yeah, I don't have. So I don't know if we can fully address all that right now. But we figured out some information we need to make that decision.
But if we actually go ahead and start and go through the budget, get everything done as it's presented. We're gonna be able to move that around afterwards. Because we don't have them in the landfill to a different general.
Some of them probably could as we go through. We can go back and do that till we close budgets. And the way that's actually gonna work like we've done in the past is when we're done here today, we'll just recess. And start again tomorrow. So until we close, we can adjust. Makes sense.
so she did respond back, and we go back to QCAP. She says the rate would have to be reestablished by the county legislation body, commissioners, and appropriated by the fiscal body council. The window closes for reestablishing is between January 1 and May 31st each year. So you should reestablish next year for the tax rate payable for 2027. Sure. Okay, and I sent that email.
Right, you said that, that was one question.
You responded, so you guys can do that.
So the commissioners would reestablish that. And then if everybody agreed or so chose, you could actually, was if you're reestablishing, you could not limit it to just jail or courthouse. And I think you could probably adjust it however you want it. Well, we are 2 minutes behind schedule. Well, actually, we're probably about.
Yeah, and Kristen needs, you know what to do.
She does?
Yeah, she's gotta,
Just gotta get out of town.
yeah, she's ready.
Don't leave town until tomorrow.
Oh, you gotta get ready to leave town.
I have plenty to do.
So, is everybody ready to, move into the first on it, Chris? So first on our agenda for the budget workshop is the assessor. County general budget request, $217,230. Which is,
We just shared the 1,000 series information before we started.
yeah, we're gonna like always address the 1000s at the end, but you want to talk about it now? That's fine.
When we get to reassessment, we can talk about.
Okay, perfect. So otherwise, it doesn't look like there's too many changes. There isn't any changes. It's not. Oh. 2,000-3,000. Made the motion to leave the budgets the same as last year. Technically, we don't have to do anything. But sometimes we have. It's up to you guys how you want to do this.
For budget overall. And all the funds. Wait, 66, 1131, 1188. 3,870. Oh. What, the fund balance.
So that's what I was, the 1188. Last year I requested. During budget hearings, so when I put my request in, my third deputy was in reassessment. And I requested that we move it to part-time because I wasn't gonna be able to hire someone full-time, so I moved it back to full-time because I now finally have positions filled. So. It looks like an increase because the part-time isn't there. But it was there because it was moved during budget hearings, so it doesn't show that there was a full-time, part-time. That was moved to full-time, back to full-time, so that's what the difference is. It just, maybe Tammy can explain that. I messed up.
So if, since we're skipping around, if we're in reassessment,
Let's just do the county general budget first, and then we'll do down the line. So right now on the 60s, or on whatever we are, 08. For 2,000 and 3,000 categories are exactly the same as last. Does anybody want to make any changes on those lines? So our motion has already covered 2 and 3 and 2025. Okay, now let's go to 66. Yeah, and you didn't want to talk about your 1,000 category in that. Christie.
No, I mean,
You just put in for a break.
I just put in a raise.
Right, okay. So now let's go to 66. Board of Review.
That's actually in the negative.
We have, even though on average we've been getting more appeals, fewer of them have been going to the Peterbola, so we've only been averaging 1 or 2 meetings a year. So I did decrease that, for compensation.
You lowered what legal services and
That's it.
just legal services.
Oh, did I not do the board?
Well, this is
Yeah, but
under,
that's okay.
Yeah, that's a 1,000 and. But yes, legal services we have not needed.
So here's an example of, we probably need to take line item action because right now our motion says that her legal services are $5,000 and she's only requested 1,000. So
good point.
I would entertain a motion to
I'll make a
to
motion
accept her 2,000 as requested.
That's exactly.
That's what I would do.
That's what Tom said.
Second, that was your motion. 2,000 and 3,000 as requested. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
second,
Who said that?
Sorry. 1131.
if we do that county general, so we should go.
No, because our motion at the beginning to leave everything the same, she requested the same, so I just wrote in my book 2,000 and 3,000 categories as the 25 budget. that how you want us to do it, or do you want to make a motion for every one of those?
I just gotta make sure what we're doing.
For 11:30.
Sales suspension.
Sales, 11:30. Yeah, right, Crystal.
Yes.
Not changing.
Yeah, there's many changes in this.
No, that's a cash fund and I just kind of leave it. As long as you use it.
Change on that,
So no, if there's not
no motion.
no motion to change, it will remain as last year or as requested. Now we go to 1188.
Yeah,
They're always all the same colors.
yes, they are.
We'll have to.
We made sure.
This one.
The first one's gonna be hard. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this. If you look at the page behind what she's requested. The one that's in landscape, this is currently what she's using. So when we went into 25. We put it,
When I put in my 25 budget, it was requested as full-time. But during budget hearings, I requested it be changed to part-time.
so yes, so we took the third, you won't see it here because we done it in budget time last year. She requested full-time in the budget workshop. But then we changed it in the budget workshop, instead of full-time, moved it to part-time. But when she requested in 26, she originally forgot, and that's why you guys got the newer sheet that way just printed out. Or with a little lost, if you understand.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm with you.
So in the 2000 category, you increase, what is it? Miscellaneous supplies, tires,
Tires,
by $200.
just in case.
Then legal services, you reduce that $2,000.
Yes.
Those are the only changes from,
There was a $50 increase in the 3,000 in due
oh, there.
subscriptions. That's based on salary, so I don't know what it's gonna be until after.
So here's a case where those changes won't be made unless we take. And if everyone's in agreement that motion to approve the budget as requested or go through it and individually change those line items.
I'll just make the motion to approve the budget as requested, 2,000, 3,000.
Second.
Right initials here. Tom made a motion, seconded by Matt to approve as requested the 2,000 and 3,000 categories. The 1188 budget, is that right? Yes. Yeah. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Guys have any questions? You understand her request in 1,000 category on this? Come back to that. We can, yeah, we hear that. You're gonna be gone.
I'll be gone.
So this is the chance to ask.
I understand.
I mean, basically, it's just getting back to staff she's had in the past.
Along those lines,
Fine.
sounds like you've got some more new people in there. I know you were advertising, but were successful in finding the level 2, whatever you need.
So, no, there's only a handful of level 2s within the county. And 2 of us are already in there. One's two sit on my board. But what we did find is people that we still have our part-time girl. So I found people that I can send to the training while we still have part-time in place without leaving the office shorthanded. So they will get the level 1 and level 2 training hopefully within the first year while we still have the part-time help. So we're on the right track.
I'm glad you found somebody. I know it's hard.
Me too. Me too. So yeah, we'll be able to fill both of those open positions, and then they'll be through their training by the time we lose our part-time. So
But why?
only took 16 years.
Better late than never.
What's that?
Better late than never.
Great, I'm trying.
So 26, we will have no part-time help in your budget.
There is
I'd have to go
part-time
back and-
still in the county general to get them through that first year of level 1 and 2 training. But we will be losing her, I think, another day starting in the spring because her classes get more strenuous.
Well, it seems like historically that any budget that doesn't have a little bit of part-time help is gonna be a problem at some point in the year, right? So
Hopefully once
if we
she,
can afford to get it in the budget, I think it's very important that everybody has a little part-time.
hopefully once she's done next year, we'll have the 4 full-time that we started with and we won't need it, but for right
But you
now, it's in there.
Anything else, Kristen? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy your vacation.
Enjoy it. Get out of here.
There were a lot of legislative changes this year. I don't know how much of a vacation it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And we were hoping you would have hit that before you found here, so you could share it with us.
That class is tomorrow afternoon, 4 hours, so. And it'll be the 3rd one we've taken, but there just haven't been answers from the state to this point, so we're hoping to get answers,
It's a work in progress.
Thank you, Chris.
something like that. Thank you, guys.
They'll still be working on it until they change it again.
2 years, is that what we're doing it?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
We're 98%, sure. 27.
Purdue Extension. Welcome, Mercedes. Number 11, the county general, and number 11 is Lance.
Good morning, how are you guys?
Good morning, how are you?
Looks like this is gonna be an easy one.
It's
Yeah.
pretty easy. We're not gonna talk about, we can talk about, we're not gonna take action on the 1,000 categories. Until the end.
Yeah, that's what I figured today, because those were the only changes that we were going to ask or requested for was a 5% adjustment for our first deputy salary and then our part-time help, which are those 1,000 categories. The rest of them are pretty sufficient for what we do in our office. I think even with like how everything's gotten more expensive, I think how we've got it right now is still gonna be sufficient for everything else that how we function in our office. So, and then just as a reminder, our contractual services for 2 3/4 educators, that is all in the commissioner's budget. So you will not see that here in the council, budget that we have here.
I don't know if everybody's, we'll take a few minutes if you're aware. Or maybe Heidi is how that all works with the extension. So, maybe
Yeah.
tweet us, you can explain it.
Okay, yeah, so we're contractual services, so, myself, the 4-H educator, Jamie Reed, who is our A&R educator, and then Deb Arsenault, who is our HHS educator. We're all contracted out, from Purdue University by the county. And so it was before I started here that, our contractual services, which is just paying the educators here in the county, that was moved to the commissioner's budget outside of the council budget. So other than that, if you have more questions about that, I can do my best to answer that.
So that's a contracted commissioners, I would say negotiate over, there's not a lot to negotiate. There has been,
Mhm.
but they sign a contract.
Yeah.
Their salaries, benefits.
All through
they
Purdue.
come through Purdue.
Yeah.
But the gals up front. Are
Yeah.
county employees. And under our budget and then our operating expenses, a lot of it under us.
Yeah, so we have Nicole, who is considered our first deputy or office manager, whichever one you want to call her. So she's there full-time with us, and then we have part-time help that comes out of the landfill. That's Jen Hayes, and so she kind of helps out, fills out in our office, as we are asked to do programming at the schools or whatever that may be. So,
Any questions of it? So we made a motion early that if everything was to be as last year, so you requested no increases. I don't see where we need to take action on county general budget. And I guess it's the same as in the landfill budget. They didn't request any changes except in the 1,000 category.
yeah. So, and we've been asked like for multiple years now, like, why don't you ask for the 4-H program fees? And so I just wanted to touch on that with you guys a little bit. So that was a motion that has been made in the past by a council member, for that to be in the landfill, which I know you have another day where you talk about landfill, but, just to give you an update on that, 4-H enrollment, has increased by 2.8% this year. So this is the third consecutive year that we've increased 4-H enrollments, which is pretty difficult. Considering kids are involved in lots of things, lots and lots of different things. We have year-round sports and things like that. And so for what is considered a smaller county in the state of Indiana, for us to continue to increase is pretty awesome. And that I totally think it's due to that 4-H enrollment fee being covered. It really helps with reaching that financial barrier that a lot of youth in Newton County often fight. And so that free enrollment fee and being able to offer that to youth, I think has greatly helped with that. And we really appreciate it, and being able to offer this free opportunity for youth to learn, to grow, to learn about themselves through the 4-H program here in Newton County.
But that's the 8,000 that's in the budget.
Yes, yep. So that's,
So-
we've just requested it again, like
Yeah.
we've done in the past.
And that should be enough to cover.
Absolutely.
You know, it's that 4760 to 24, so
Mhm.
should cover you.
Absolutely.
And they're just under 5,000 this year.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because your stuff underneath that front cover, you can look is what they've spent this year.
Any questions, comments, adjustments?
I make a recommendation that you take their landfill fund and move it into county general. And we're not talking a whole lot of money. We gotta figure out ways to cut. And it can be discussed later, but I don't know why we just move their landfill. fund.
The entire budget?
Yes. We gotta start making some cuts, so.
Good idea. I'll make the motion to move the Purdue Extension landfill number 11 to county gen.
I'll second that.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Mick to move the entire extension landfill budget 0011 to county general extension budget 0011. Is that correct? Yes. Discussion?
Don't make it like these.
All those in favor of the motion to move the budget to county general, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Awesome. She doesn't. So that's, and payroll, it'll all be restored. When we were.
That makes, sure it makes it easier. Yeah. So it all got moved in the landfill, but years ago when county general was short on money in landfill, that would get changed.
It's all part of the process.
Just as you go. Anything else?
Nope. Very good.
I need to apologize to Jamie for not calling her back the other day.
I don't even remember what I called.
Something about AI and cattle, I think.
Oh, and
Thank you.
Oh,
guys very
thank
much.
you. All right. next on the agenda? Anybody can take a break or anything better? Go. Diane's here. Good. Let's get it done. Step ahead. 7:51. Good morning.
Morning, Diane.
Fine. Using.
10,006.
Yes. it's 7.
Is that just because you had a budget, Diane, don't use it, or?
We've been increasing it, and then for where we are right now, we should have plenty, and then we asked for that additional last year and ended up not having to use it. So trying to just be a little, make sure we're being fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
Like,
We appreciate that.
Yep, absolutely.
7:50.
Yeah. Budget request, $73,430, decrease. $1,000, that's not percent.
They did question, but she did explain, we didn't
Yes.
yet, so wanted to make sure.
Yes.
I will make a motion to accept or approve 1,000 series 751 as submitted. The in the reduction of $10,000.
So you're gonna address the 1,000 now?
No, this is the 3,000.
So that's category 3,000 as requested.
Yeah, out of the general fund is what I'm.
Okay, I'm sorry. Very second.
Second.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Matt to approve the 3,000 category, 751 step ahead as requested. Right. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. That's pretty simple.
Thank you.
You want to talk about 1,000 while you're here?
So about the coordinator, about the salary, because you guys don't talk about that till later. Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We won't do anything.
We won't do anything about it. No, the step ahead board that we have, I go outside the room, they put a request in for what they think that the raise should be based on everything that we're doing. But we know it's gonna be whatever comes back in, so it's just an ask, but it will be what everybody else, however you guys deem that to be. Yep, 20 hours a week, and same thing as always, no holidays, no, any of that good stuff, so.
Okay.
Anything else?
Your annual report looks good. I just loved it again the other day.
No, good.
Appreciate that.
I was gonna ask, I brought it in case you guys had any other questions on that, so. You're welcome. Anything else? Okay,
So,
Thanks.
thank you.
Next day.
we're ahead of schedule. I need a break yet, or you want to take care of the sheriff?
Yeah, this one could take a while. Still think of that quick.
I didn't have to.
It doesn't have to.
But it's.
Right.
Okay.
If you're ready, Sheriff, come on.
Get it handled while you're here.
Sheriff budget, number 5, white tabs. Good morning.
Good morning.
Gonna ask you, when you completed your budgets, did you factor in the increase that we're seeing in,
No, not at that time. So that's one of the sidebar items that we'll have to discuss. At the time this was done, we didn't know the increase was going to happen or the impact that it had
yeah,
until last month.
on average, everybody's NIPSCO electric bill about 5%.
Yeah, ours is about $4,000 so far, and that's,
Would you want to make any, amendment to that? Request an equitable line item while you're here?
I will. you want that now, or where do you want to start?
I have a general question for you. With SB one, did the state fund the state reimbursement for housing state prisoners? And they were in arrears to you.
They still are.
Are they, do they have funding for that? Did it take, or what's the result?
Yeah, we're on the list to, so once their budget cycle is July. So once they got their new money in July, they started paying everybody that they owed. We have not received our payment yet. Some counties have, some counties haven't. Right now, I think I'd have to look, it's 52,000 and some change that they owe from last year that they didn't pay yet. And we're in the billing cycle since July, or ever since, to collect that. So my understanding is the money's there, but they're working on getting that paid out.
I thought we were usually getting paid quite quick.
Oh, we did until they ran out of money, and then they just go paying anyway. Yeah. So Newton County, you're looking at 52,000. Some of these counties, they're 150 to 2 something.
So hitting the county general. 2000s and increased 2,500, and that's for you.
Right.
3,000, 28. Equipment here. Gravel.
So on equipment and repair. Yes, that has gone up. And if you look at previous years. The increase. You had a mechanic at County Highway that serviced ours for quite some time. They don't have that anymore, so we're having to go outsource it. That's why it's increased. So
Highway department's not servicing your vehicles.
That's our, sorry.
sorry,
No, that's what happened.
they don't have a mechanic to do it.
If I remember right, looking over the highways, budget.
It never ends, Steve.
There was an increase in.
It never ends.
1,000.
What was that, Tom? I'm sorry.
Until I get a notice from County Highway that they can start servicing our vehicles again, we're outsourcing it. And
I understand. I mean, you gotta do.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
It all goes through the same spot out here, Shannon.
majority of it, yeah.
Some of it's Jason Auto, you have different vendors, right?
Depending on what it is.
That's quite a taste right now, so.
So that was equipment, I'm sorry, equipment radio repair, that's the increase there. Is there any other questions about the 3,000?
3,000, no,
So.
I was. On the desk about your electric, I was looking, that's in jail, that's not in the sheriff's budget. It just hit me the way I couldn't find it. Right, budget.
And I know right now you're not talking about or you're not doing anything with the 1,000, we'll come back and talk about that in a second, but just to clarify. In the 1,000 for, pension plan, are you looking at a figure that starts 43? Right, the right one? Yeah, okay, y'all have 43. 893, okay. Anything else you need on Sheriff County General?
In general, this is something more for Linda. Have you heard any more about the claim from that outfitter that's about $20,000?
I have no idea.
Linda's working on it with another councilwoman, I just wondering. Was it 20,000 you're talking about?
I think so. I have not.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2,000, 3,000 series Sheriff County General as requested.
Second. Motion by Tom, seconded by Nick to approve the 2,000 and 3,000 categories. In the sheriff's 005 county general budget as requested. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Before we move on, I want to go back to that pension thing. So the pension has decreased our payment,
So we get a calculation from our pension company,
right?
and that figure is based on what they've provided us. So it's 481, 673 plus 185 a month for 12 months for principal life. That should come up to that total of 483.93.
Just last year, that was 506,000.
That's based on the figure that they provide to us.
That's the first time I've ever seen it put in.
Yeah, me too. That's why I was.
Well, and if I remember right, last year, we didn't have that figure, so we had to estimate 43% based on
Okay.
whatever.
And was that high?
Was that high? Yeah. Yeah,
I think I screwed it though too. And I think I took your guys' full amount and forgot to leave the pension amount, so I think we wanted to put a little bit more in there.
right.
Well, it just caught my eye that, I wanted to make sure that we were okay on that. So let's
And
go,
I did go back and double check, and I could send you guys that because we're in America.
I don't care to see that, but personally.
It should be right based on the figures we've been provided.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that it looked odd to be requested less than this year before coming. There's no other questions in sheriff's budget. We will go to 380 jail, county general. Right. Budget request, $1,916,694. Move. Little bit of change in the 3,000, so it's like, but here's where we need to probably address, electric.
Yes.
People, awesome.
Sorry,
Are you getting old? Awesome.
I'm calculator. Okay, so, 3,500 medical and psychiatric. That,
What series is that?
3,000. So you'll see an increase there. On an intake, we have to provide them with a psychological evaluation now as well. And I'll be the first to amend, I'm sure you would all agree, that the medical contract, the medical expense is aggravating. It's just super expensive. But we're required to do so much. And now we have a nurse on staff, RN on staff, provided through the contract that does the intakes on every inmate. One note I have is through this company that we're contracted with, I just used one example, back from April or May. For 2 inmates, they scrubbed down the cost and the billing. And they saved us $19,000. For 2 inmates. Yeah, that's on 2 inmates. So they scrubbed it down 19,000. So there's a so you're laying out a fortune. Let's just be honest about it. You're laying out a fortune to begin with, but there is savings on the back end. That's just one example of some of that savings where they're scrubbing the bills down. They pay, what is it, Medicare plus 4% or whatever it is. So they scrub that down. They save us some money there. The other one that you don't see is we average 9 inmates a month that normally would get transported to the hospital because of whatever ache or pain they're complaining about. But because we have a nurse on staff, they see that nurse, she can call her doctor, they can qualify this claim or this need for a field trip to the hospital. And that's about 9 a month. And I talked with Jeremy at EMS. When you're taking, either it's 2 paramedics or a paramedic and a EMT, an ALS rig out of service to transport an inmate to the hospital to see ER, plus the CO has to go with them. Then you have to find a CO to come in. Each one of these, you're looking at about $3 grand. So we're saving about $27,000 a month on the back end of this too. So again, I not to reiterate it, but I'm going to because I have to do it for my own peace of mind. It's a huge layout on the front end, but there is savings on the back end. So that one's at, 290. I'll come back now, we can do that now. If you're ready, gas, electric and water, because of that increase, that figure would need to probably go up, estimated at $54,000.
So 220. 200 would be 30.
So there was originally no increase. The original request, correct?
How much did it say? 54?
54.
225.
It's been, the requested amount has been the same for the last 7 years.
You said 54 flat or?
Estimated 54, so that takes it up to 224.
225, whatever.
How much does nurse save us 2,700 monthly?
I'm sorry?
How much does a nurse save us in ambulance runs? Monthly,
Well,
27,000 per.
yeah, if you're averaging 9 inmates a month that don't get transported by ALS rig. The cost of taking that out of service, the medics that you're paying, the CO, has to go with
I didn't know it was 27,000 or
27,000.
per month.
Cool. Yeah, they said it was 3,000 per trip, damage, so with 9 of them. Okay, average 7,000.
So you're looking at an increase on, gas, electric. And gas, water, and electric, 54,000.
Gas, water and electric, 170 plus what we estimate to be the increase, we take it to 224 for 2026.
That'd be 54,000.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the additional request that you'll see next month, I believe, just to try to adjust for this NIPSCO rate increase.
Is that gonna, well, obviously that's gonna be over the rest of the year. That addition we're gonna have,
I'm sorry.
that's gonna cover the rest of the year, the additional you're gonna ask for next month.
Yeah, we are hoping it will, but until we see what the winter is gonna be like. So yes, 33, 100 gas, electric and water, that should be adjusted as 224,000. Moving down from there, if you're ready. Meals, that one is slightly increased.
What's your ADP?
Well, 60 now. Yeah, we're 64 today. So we're averaging 60 inmates now. And you'll see an increase here, and I'm probably gonna have to make an adjustment on that too. But what I do want to hopefully ask you to understand is a year or so ago, we met with the dietitian. We went through all the calorie needs, all the dietary needs. We bought 3-ounce scoops of this and grids for cutting brownies and cake and all that stuff. We have measured down to meet the requirements without spending extra money. It's just what it costs. It's just what it costs. And contrary to popular belief, they are not getting steaks and seafood. They're getting the dietary needs.
They still get the powdered milk.
Yes, and yeah.
Yes.
So again, it's like the gas and the medical and all this, it's a lot of money and I'll admit that, but we have adjusted. And I mean, when you're taking 3-ounce scoops of corn because you have to give them, we're not just filling the hole in the tray, we're giving them the proper amount.
I feel your increases are no different than us looking at it and our own residents.
Yeah.
It's-
No, I mean.
Yeah, everything's 30%.
Price that isn't higher.
Yeah,
Correct.
And I know it's been
Good
working
job.
way better and more than what the feeding is.
It's 64 as of today.
I apologize, David, I have a hard time hearing you
64 as of today.
today. Yeah.
And how is that relative to your capacity? And say, let's say for a year ago and 2 years ago, is it trending higher or lower in terms of our budget?
We're going up. You're asking about the population?
Yes, I know.
It's going up.
Significantly?
What was yours? Do you remember? 50?
It wouldn't even bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's up.
There was a period of time when past, we were in that 60, and then it kind of dropped.
Yeah, and that come about, the majority of that come about a couple factors. Number one, that's when I come up with another opportunity for inmates to bond out of jail by using a credit card. That really reduced it. The second was it was around COVID time.
COVID and what that.
Yeah, there was a lot less people who were taking it just because of that.
Yeah, at COVID, you were probably around 30, 35.
Yeah.
Does the inmate population affect your budget a lot other than food? Do you have to have more correctional officers for every 10 inmates or something like that?
Manpower stays the same, but the needs go up because, so we're a 77 bed facility. When you hit 80%, which is 60, your odds of bad things happening have just significantly increased. So that's that many more, you know, without getting into details, we have an inmate that we're gonna have to look at some dental work because he's claiming he broke his teeth on a Dorito that we gave him. So,
Yeah, that was soft shell.
well, he's on a soft food diet now because of this, but anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, your needs go up. Meals we covered, inmate transports, you ready for that one?
Yep.
36,700. What we do there is that's basically budgeting for 5 out-of-state transports. For example, Harris County, Texas, that one cost us 2,200 to bring them back. Another county in Texas, 2,200. We brought one back from Missouri for 800. We use a transport company to do that because, one, manpower, and two, I don't think we could have sent 2 COs in a vehicle to Texas and back. Every time you have to stop, that's a escape risk. By using a transport company, it's cheaper for us, and that inmate is not our responsibility till it's our facility. So we budget,
You know, is prosecutor's office asking for reimbursement in plea agreements for those expenses?
yes, they are, and if it is a transport due to, child support, they pick up the cost of that.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time.
They being.
Prosecutors. Yeah, so if it's a transport that they have to go, we have to go somewhere, or bring an inmate back because of child support issues, prosecutor's office picks up that cost. And these, they seek restitution on the inmate for the cost of the transport.
But you have that request the same as last year.
Right. Yeah, that's just an average.
So you're not gonna need an increase on that?
Don't think so.
Anything else?
So the only adjustment that we for sure need to make is in that gas, water, and electric. The rest of it,
Current.
that's less,
Right.
which would be pretty much the same as last year, except for a couple.
I'll make a motion to approve the county general jail budget series 2000, as admitted with the exception of series 2000, increasing gas, water, and electric, which I think is 3,344. Got a bunch of.
23100, 33100.
Increase that $54,000 to show that the total budget request of 224,000. And the series still under 2,000. Increase of 15,000 for meals for prisoners. And series 4,000 has requested.
I'll second that. Motion by Tom, second by Mick to approve the 2, 3, and 4,000s as requested, with the exception of increasing the gas, water, and electric line item 33,100, 54,000 to make that 224,000 in that line item. Is that correct? Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Planning
Well, it should also
clarification.
cover the 3,000 increase in meals.
It was as requested.
Okay.
No, 3,000 requested and, 15,000.
But it was requested that way.
Yeah.
Correct,
thank you,
yeah.
Just clarifying.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So it, as requested. Okay. The only thing we had to change on the line item.
That's, yes.
Yes, whatever. Yeah.
So clarification on my end, the figure you have for meals is 110.
Yes.
All right,
Okay, where are we going to now? Landfill. Oh, by. Right there.
How many, vehicles do you get from the sheriff?
well. We are looking at. So sheriff landfill, 43,200 motor vehicles, we're looking, that should cover 3 Silverados. That replace the 4-year-old 100,000-mile Rams and 1 Tahoe.
I can't believe we got a Ram to go 100,000 more.
Pardon me?
Can't believe we got a Ram to go.
Right. And these figures are based on, because obviously the pricing for 2026 isn't available yet, it won't be till November, December, so. Basically what we do is add 5% to last year's price. So we take the truck price from last year at 5%, Tahoe's the same thing, so. This will do 3 Silverados, 1 Tahoe, and equipment. Is to put all 4 of those in service. And again, that's a lot of money, but that's what it costs.
So did you get every vehicle? 25 that was in the budget? We're caught up with what you.
Yeah.
You know, a few years ago, it seemed like, maybe we had an extra vehicle the following year, just couldn't get more, I don't know how. But we're current.
Well, we're
As
current,
current as you get.
the 2 Tahoes that we have out of the 2025 budget. They were supposed to be here last week, they're still not here, so. They should be coming.
Still playing that game on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All the equipment and everything's sitting there waiting to go, but we don't have the vehicles.
Sheriff's reserves, how many have you got on staff?
So for sheriff's reserves, to answer your question, 8. We're trying to get 3 more back on or put on to get that number back up to 12-ish, where we'd like to be. The increase for that, what was it before? So $25,000 increase. The reason for that is the 1990 something golf cart that they've been using for the fair and whatever. We want to replace that with probably a side-by-side, something a little bit more current that would be more useful in different situations besides the golf cart. That's 27 years old. So I estimated that at around 25. I don't know anything about this thing, so I've been told we're gonna get a bare bones basic one to 25. I don't know. But that's the increase in that, and I talked to the reserve commander about the cost of that to try to replace that golf cart with something more versatile than what we have currently. That's why that would happen.
The means that they're using to transport the golf cart would now would that be able to move that side by side?
Trailer should hold it.
Cam, was this another budget that you just wondered if we wanted to move to, or at least a portion of it?
I was just gonna ask that same question.
What's your recommendation?
All right, so we move it. Gave you the new updated sheet, so.
Why didn't that change in the line piece?
Because even though we had talked about it when she was here, we haven't done the additional, but even though we committed that 5 million wasn't in there. That's why, and she just missed it in her notes, and when you guys started questioning, I asked, and she said she apologized, so.
We haven't passed it yet. Right. As far as I know this year. I don't think we have. Yeah.
No, we
What
haven't approved
we haven't
it.
approved
I mean,
that.
There's a commitment, but they haven't met all of their obligations,
Right.
so we still have to kind of keep it there, but the additional
We
is not
approved
there.
it the year before.
Right.
Get that cash. I thought we had done that earlier, but yeah. But that's, no, we should.
So motion to move back to county, move to county general. You would recommend? I'll make that motion to,
My suggestion would be let's act on the budget and then a second motion if you want. That makes sense.
yeah. That's the case, and I would make a motion to approve the sheriff's landfill as submitted.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Matt to approve the sheriff's landfill budget as requested. Yep. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now,
Now I'll make a motion to move sheriff's landfill budget 0005 into county general. Sheriff's 005.
five should be the same.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Nick to move the sheriff's 005 entire 005 landfill budget to sheriff's county general 005 budget, correct? Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. It'll be a little less work for Bobby, maybe. Yeah, that says, there's probably gonna be a time at some point where some of this.
Yeah, we'll come back.
I would guess I have.
Yeah.
I do,
Got something else for us?
oh yeah,
Okay.
sorry. It's not reflected in here and it probably doesn't need to be, but I'm presenting it to you. You know where you want to do it. The water softener system at the jail doesn't work. So, and hasn't for a while. So that gives us hard water. Just like at home, hard water is hard on your dishwasher or your tub, your sinks and all that stuff. Because the rust that it creates in the shower stalls and the pods, maintenance, went through and pressure washed and sanded down and epoxy painted and did all kinds of work to get us through the inspections. I have a quote, that's like $83,000 to replace that water softener system. I didn't put it in here because that's kind of more of a commissioner's, building thing. I know there's, I'm gonna use the wrong terms, the Cume Cap Fund.
You're correct. I'm trying to look at that.
Okay, that, I don't know if you wanna take it out of there, where it wants to go, I'm just putting it out there as you go through budgets that building for that softener system is looking at about 83,000, give or take.
Get the Cuban code. Okay.
Yes, there's $404,470.
So can we, remember to add that to that particular section when it comes up?
Well, QCAP won't come up because we have to do an additional in there.
If you wanna get it done this year, or if we could actually put it in the budget. Put it in the jail budget. Paid out. Well, probably an
Hey,
additional.
if you guys want me to go ahead and put it in,
You wanna get it done right away,
but
right?
you want it this year or next year?
If we wait till next year, your cost is gonna probably go up 5%.
So you need to just get an additional. Yeah. I mean, if the commissioners.
When was it that you got that quote?
June,
So I think it's still needed at this time.
I would hope.
I'll tell you what, just do your research, see what it was, what it would be, and just do the additional information once needed.
So we submit it to you through that fund, Cume Cap fund? Okay.
Sure.
When's that gotta be done by?
Not knowing the lifespan of something like that, is there a way it could be installed that maybe it could be used, moved? I don't know, I mean,
The thing's huge.
okay,
I mean, I that tank is,
I would guess
big as that table.
okay. I didn't know how, if that was going to be a topic.
yes, so additional for Cume Cap for that.
They talked about that, Heidi. Hey, Heidi, if they do that, is we'll change out the new handlers and everything else on top of the jail that they just replaced not too long ago.
While we're still here, the jail. So it's 30 years old. This is, since you're here, I'm gonna kind of direct it more towards you since it's a building issue. We're probably to the point that maintenance and somebody of specialty needs to come through and look at, especially the north outside wall. There's some tuck pointing, some brickwork. Portions of the west wall, need some attention. And we're to that point of, you have a life expectancy that you're at for that building, you're probably going to need to start putting some serious renovations into certain parts of it.
Is that about where those water downspouts are coming out?
Yeah, that's a lot of it. The door frame, all the steel door frames, they're rusting up about 4 inches right now. Probably gonna have to look at replacing some.
Especially contractor, we could have come look at all this stuff. Give us a bid.
I think we're to that point where we need to address it now or make a big address that none of us want to make.
Right.
So
But how much time did it let buy us? We do all this stuff.
I don't know. That's why I say you're gonna have to, I'm not a contractor.
We should have come look at it.
If we could put that on to discuss sometime.
Yeah.
How old are the jails?
It'll be 30 years old.
I do go on.
It doesn't seem that old, but I remember
Actually,
being
I
built.
thought
95.
I thought it might be older.
Yeah, 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've hit the 30-year mark. And it's starting to show.
Parts that are older. Thought it was older.
They occupied 95. So the 1,000, I know you're not gonna do anything on that today, but I would like to talk about it if you'd entertain some discussion. On the 1,000?
Yeah.
For both.
Sure.
For both sheriff and jail. My comments go towards both, but I'll specifically address jail. You did a lot of work in the last few years to increase or decrease the gap between Newton County and surrounding agencies. They're still moving forward and we're taking small steps. You have hard decisions to make, and I understand that, and I respect that. I'm just going to ask that you give this request a little bit more consideration, because if we don't keep where you've made those adjustments, we're gonna be right back to where we were a few years ago, where everybody around us is paying $12,000 to $20,000 more than we were, and we're gonna lose people. I don't think the federal thing will affect us, but I'm just gonna tell you, this is how the game works. You have federal agencies right now that are offering free training and all kinds of good stuff. And as soon as the officers complete that training, the federal agencies then work hard to recruit them with $50,000 sign-on bonus.
Just reading about that.
I don't think that one will affect us, but what will affect us is state police. They did a lateral class, which is you take experienced certified officers and you lateral them into ISP. And that one didn't do so well. So they're gonna come back at this with a new plan for laterals that they're trying to recruit from the counties. Because most county agencies, especially rural, they know how to handle themselves because they're doing it by themselves. Because they don't have 10 cars there in 2 minutes. That's the people they want. That's the people they're gonna come after. Jail. I don't know what to tell you. Right now I have 3 full-time locums. 2 weeks ago, if you would have asked me how's things in the jail, I said, great. And here we are a few weeks later and have 3 full-time openings. Everybody in every atmosphere, every business is having a hard time finding people that want to work and those that want to stay. Right now, the age groups that we're getting are the 18 to 20-year-olds. Majority of them live at home. They don't know what it's like to have bills to pay and mouths to feed and stuff like that, so they can work a few months and they've saved up some money and they're rich right now. Then they leave. The jail is a completely negative atmosphere. Those inmates don't like them. They don't want to see them. They're surrounded by negativity for 12 hours a day. And by the end of a week, it'll be hard to go back into that. And it's starting to show. Is money the answer? Nope. What is? I don't know. But I would just ask that the 1,000 category on both of those, that you think about that a little bit more. And again, I respect you have hard decisions to make. If it comes to the point where you want to have a more in-depth conversation about that, I'd love to come back and talk to you more about it. That's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Do you see any other like counties? Obviously, everybody's dealing with the same thing. You mentioned it just now. It's not always the money, it's other fringe benefits, whatever those are. Is anybody else trying other stuff that seems to be working, or does everybody have the same problem?
Nobody wants to do this job. Nobody wants to do the officer's job anymore, and a whole lot less want to do the CO job anymore. I've talked to neighboring counties that it's just a revolving door. And that's just the atmosphere that we're in right now. And I don't know what it's going to take to retain people. I mean, really, if you really sit down and look at the numbers, that's pretty good money. Yeah. When you look at what a CEO makes now, I mean, especially if a CEO picks up overtime shifts and everything, they're making more than the jail commander. So in this area, that's good money. And I will jump up and down and admit that. But it's the negativity that surrounds it and the task of those jobs that just makes it difficult to retain.
How do you fix that?
I don't know.
Seems to me in the past, a lot of older people that had their eye on a career in law enforcement were willing to come in and work the jail. That was kind of the starting point. Yeah, well, now you don't have people wanting to get in that career at all, so you not nearly as much.
Well, let me
So
say,
you really cut into
let me tell you why. All of the negativity that law enforcement's been getting, that started with that Black Lives Matter stuff. And then you got the jurisdictions that want to take away the qualified immunity. Well, just who wants to do that job? And even the people that's going into the corrections side of it, they know that, and they don't want to. But then they're not gonna go and put up with inmates, dealing with inmates all the time, or no chance of or opportunity better.
What do you like, states trying to pick up our employees and think, how do you fix that? I mean, I've got friends, personal friends that did it. They work for you, then they would say, hey, it was $20,000 more.
Yeah.
How do you target the states they quit doing this?
Add to what you're talking about. A lot of departments now, whether you say recruit or hire from, they're looking for officers that are already certified academy trained. So they don't have that time and that cost. So if you're a CO that's trying to get your foot in the door and you get passed over a couple times because they've hired somebody that's already academy certified, pretty soon you're like, huh, then what's the point in staying here if this isn't gonna help? And you see that too, and that's not just us, that's statewide. So, some of these jails, like Steuben County and some of they're operating with 30 less people than they need. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you get a message to Bobby for the Q-Tap, that she will get that to me before 11 o'clock today. I need to put the crutch. I can get it for September.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. We're a few minutes ahead of schedule, so let's take a 5-minute break. Sorry, Bree, we're gonna make you wait until you have time. We're gonna take a little break.
Back at 10:15. Get back on schedule.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. Well, we got a cushion time. You know how that goes.
Sure.
Ready, Tam?
Yeah.
We will reconvene the budget workshop with, SWCD events. Total budget request, $117,723. Morning, everybody.
We're good. How are you guys?
Still here.
Not too stressed yet, hopefully.
Not yet. Hasn't been too bad yet.
Good.
Like before, we could talk about the 1,000 category, public won't take any action till the last day.
Yeah.
We made a motion earlier to leave all the 2, 3, 4,000 categories as before, unless there's an exception. Like,
Okay.
so,
I think our only change was moving, last year we had $1,105 appropriated to computers and software programs, and I think we just wanted to move that to travel instead, just since we don't need it in computers and software anymore, so no net change.
total request is the same, just move money in line items.
Yep.
Does
2 and
IT,
3. Go ahead.
does IT handle your, computer? Your
Yes and no. Some things they do. We've got, a county computer that we use for submitting claims and stuff like that, and then we have, an SWCD computer for all of our files and sharing and things like that, that IT has their, Sophos support on for security. So they'll help us on that side of things. And then we have our federal needs for mapping all of our federal files, farmer files and stuff like that, that the federal government that handles. So we're a good mix.
That sounds like it. Yeah, that was just a curiosity question.
Yeah.
I will make a motion to approve the soil and water conservation district, general, county general. Approve it as submitted with the exceptions already requested, with the subtraction of $1,105 from 30600 and increase of $1,005 to the rate travel line.
Second.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Matt to approve the 2,000 and 3,000 categories in the SWCD 750 county general budget as requested. Correct? Yep. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Want to talk about the 1,000 while you're here?
We sure can. Yep, we're requesting a 10% increase for the 2 salaries on there. Especially Laura's, she's done truly an exceptional job coming into the Soil and Water Conservation District and really kept us afloat while I was on maternity leave. And has stepped up in leadership, I mean, tremendously. So I'm not sure if we would consider maybe a reclassification if that's what's needed to increase her salary too. But we'd really like to encourage you guys to think about her accomplishments this year, and happy to write that up. Also, so as you guys consider that. Working really, really hard and trying to get as much funds and help back to our landowners as possible.
Board members, there's what, 5? That were 5 board members. There's me fun. So they paid the same rate as we did. All the rest of them. Or is it different? They're board members, they paid at the same rate as
Yes.
everybody else.
They think currently you have, Breeze at a first deputy's pay and then Laura's at just a regular deputy. What's your service?
Yeah, that's right.
Questions? Clear on the educator, it looks like the 6.3% requested increase for the executive director, 17.39. I thought you said 10%, the educator.
Okay, I might have to relook at my math. Yeah, we wanted to do 10% on that.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, I don't have a calculator in front of me, but our intention, yeah, certainly was to ask for a 10% increase.
Well, if you got the numbers, the educators increase was $2,291, and the other was $7,800. You know. For those numbers, you're
Fred, you're shortchanging the educator.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to do that. Hers is,
That is request anyway.
yeah, hers is the more important one that I'm,
You're at 17, that increase of 6.
okay, we need to adjust that. Yeah, I know, I went over these a bunch, gosh. Tammy, can you confirm what Laura's salary is this year with the longevity pay? I have 38,155. That right?
But you can't add the longevity.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
But
that's
you've
where
got
I'm,
to be here 5 years in order to get the longevity. But once she completes the 5 years, that's an automatic 1,000.
okay,
But
So
sure,
are you talking about the, 1%, 2%?
yes,
Pay matrix, sorry.
yes, pay matrix, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
she will graduate up in pay matrix until she reaches longevity.
That's what it is, yes, the pay matrix, I guess. Okay. Cause maybe that's where my math got messed up. Cause I think initially she was approved at, was it 36 something?
She in her second year, which is what, second year grad, so next year will be 3.
Yeah.
So if you take
Hmm.
18.183 times 3%,
That's good.
and then you're gonna take that times 10% once you get that number, if you wanna give her a 10% raise.
I don't think I'll graduate. 3%. That's for January.
Hey, Bree,
Yes,
we're not gonna take action on that today.
Okay.
If you wanna go back and.
can I resubmit that part?
Yeah, come back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's fine. I mean. We can sit here and wait on you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, if you wanna go back and review.
Yeah, we'll make sure that's
It'll
right.
probably be wasted
Okay,
1,000. Whatever you wanna do.
that sounds great. We will adjust
We're
that.
ahead of schedule, so we're.
If you want to sit there and figure it out, that's fine. We're cooking along here.
Well, you guys keep moving on your day, then we won't hold you up. We'll get it resubmitted this afternoon.
Okay, you'll look it over and
Yeah,
just. I would let Tammy know her office. and-
I'll do that. Awesome.
So give us a spreadsheet, correct figures.
Yep, sure will.
Anything else?
Roughly, I have 40,378 would be her salary, because I took out, that would be 10%, and I took out holiday.
Okay.
Just looking at the numbers here, that sounds pretty close.
Yeah.
And then do I have the holiday pay correct on that, 24.33, or is that? Yeah,
Yeah, it seems like those get adjusted a lot after budgets.
Yes, we might, if she comes in, if they give her that rate, we might have to justify $40.
okay. I think the hourly ones messed me up because of,
So you gotta take
Holiday and
their
overtime.
hourly rate times 2080, but then you gotta subtract out the holiday.
yeah.
So I don't know, Paul, you know, the Breeze position is based on first deputy pay, but but your salary.
Yeah.
Not our. But the salary is set and what percentage pay is, that would be done that fast. I think. And I can't remember, is it salary?
So. Yes, exactly. She doesn't get any overtime, but she still has to turn in. But if you're going to adjust Laura's, you probably won't have to adjust Bree's.
Yes, I'm sure that.
We're grateful for your guys' support no matter what. I just really want to showcase that Laura has worked exceptionally hard.
We are paying part of Florida salary, our budget, so. Or with soil water money.
Oh, what? From.
We
or
pay
that's-
30,000 towards her salary every year. So the council portion isn't, you know, the full, whatever, but you guys do cover the benefit package and the rest of that.
So it goes back in county general when they write that. It doesn't necessarily go back unless they actually request it, so that amount.
So what's in our budget is full amount, but then they're reimbursing the county back. It's like-
So now it looks much better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Bigger. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Let us know when, you know.
Yeah, I'll get that right over.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Whatever the rate is and take.
There's a lot of zeros. No change. Yeah. Yeah. Like the first.
I forgot.
One up, Sharon.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sharon.
Doing the driving truck today.
Yeah.
Well.
Roller.
The boss is working, never done.
And now.
Chip and sealing areas. Where I got it.
What's that?
Doing chip and seal now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll finish Wednesday.
They went down this broke that Friday, and I figured that's what you're doing.
Oh, these two. these
Yep.
two are like that. Morning, Sharon.
Well, I thought I had it figured out. I was just saying.
It takes a few. First on, well, good morning.
Good morning.
First on our schedule is Cume Bridge, 11:35, no changes. So we made a motion previously to set everything back to last year's unless we individually make changes. So technically this was covered. Anything you want to say about Cume Bridge? So then we go to, where do we go to then? 11:65. Another tab. No change there either. And none of it yet. Here we got a couple. Viewer and then I always get mixed up. Real brief, you know, what does each one of these budgets do as we're going through it, like 1169, local road and street,
All right, local roads and streets, pretty much what we pull out of there is our salt, sand salt mix, for the winter. And also stone and gravel. A lot of times out of this one, we do the stone and gravel for our gravel roads.
and this money is all from,
This is tax.
it's nice tax base.
Most affected by the wheel tax.
No, this one's not
Is one of your funds mostly affected by the wheel tax?
that one would, well, we don't, because we don't have the wheel tax, that one would be more effective towards, like community crossings if we were to have that, and it probably, I believe that would come out of Cambridge though, the wheel tax.
How is it affected interest? Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
1173 highway restricted, no changes from before, so that entire budget would be covered on our previous motion, unless anybody wants to address a line item. Anything to say? 1176, 530, so now we go to. Right, there should be a 530 in right here. Yeah. Find it. Highway Administration, 1176, 530.
that's,
We were gonna do
Wages.
salaries,
Yeah.
but we've talked about it. We'll talk about it now, it's not both people.
Huh.
We can talk about whatever you want.
the only change there, I mean, Matrix, I did increase mine, I mean, $5, but I really don't want to address that one before I address, the laborers, cause I would much rather see a wage increase on them than myself.
So holiday pay is up a lot in this particular.
Based on the matrix.
Of course, that holiday pay all kind of works out as you enter salaries then, right? An increase in fractional services engineer, it looks like.
Yes. I increased that a little more. That's, anytime that I do any kind of scope of work where we need the engineer company, it's pretty costly. I can still operate within that means of the 75,000. Right now, not knowing what community crossings is gonna bring. I'm a little not sure on these numbers when it comes to that, because if the wheel tax affects the community crossings, I'm gonna be hesitant to apply unless the project is an absolute necessity, because what I would pay the engineers to scope out the project is a very high dollar, usually averages about $130,000 for them to scope out a project for bid. And if we're not guaranteed that project in community crossings, that's a lot of money to just set up. So like I said, I can still maintain at the 75,000, but I do know that there's always increases in their wages. If I do have to scope something out, that's why I added 25,000.
Didn't the county have an engineer employed with the?
Or Larry Holder, we was our last.
Why didn't we do that?
They did go in, interviewing. And, the ones that, put in didn't quite have the correct credentials, if I remember correctly, even though they were willing. But, because it's underneath the commissioners and it's an at-will, it's only guaranteed like year to year. And some just didn't feel safe with their jobs, so they found it not.
A lot of budget constraints about that time, dollar constraints, so. Hard to come up with the money it would take to get them. Was part of it, I think.
You're gonna have to pay 125, 150,000 for an engineer or more. I mean, that's even a lot of responsibilities and stuff that they have to do, and requirements, and you do get a kickback though. I mean, if they have certain things on what they do, right, there is some reimbursement from the state.
But it seemed like even when we had an engineer, that you were still hiring engineering firms to do a lot of things. It wasn't like every engineering project.
They're qualified to do.
Yeah. So,
But if we're, we don't know what funding looks like, but I guess my question is, are we gonna be? We don't know what the funding looks like, we don't really know what we're gonna be doing. Are we gonna be necessarily spending more money on engineering service contracts for projects that we don't know if we're even gonna be able to do or not? So I guess that's my question, is do we really need to put more money in there for what if we don't even know what it looks like?
Like I said, when I submitted all that
Yeah,
wheel tax was
right.
just starting to come out. So, I mean, I'm okay with leaving it the same. Because I'm gonna be very careful and hesitant on. I'm not just going to, yeah, let's scope out this project and spend all this money and realize that we can't. That we're gonna lose out.
so will community crossings be affected in 2026, 2027? Not till 2027, isn't it?
Yes, but I think in July of you apply in July of 26. So I'm not sure. Depends on when the project gets awarded and when you can complete it, as to when that money will come out. It should be by the end of 26 that the project's completed and paid out for that year of 26, but again, there's still
For the
things.
qualifications for this coming budget year.
Can I read this from, because you
Sure.
guys asked me these questions earlier, so Susan got back with me. And she says, are you considering a wheel tax? If adopting between now and January 1st, 2026, it would be in effect for January 1st of 2027. You need to estimate on how much wheel tax will bring in. We have some information from LTAP that should what each county could bring in at a minimum and maximum amount of taxes.
Did we get a copy of that already?
Well, we did, we got stuff from Sharon, got the guy from LDAP to come and give us that.
I think
So we have a lot of that information. But my question more is the requirements to qualify for community crossing 2026. I don't think
it'll affect us in July.
it doesn't affect our coming year that we don't have a field tax, but it will the next year.
Right.
So you're applying this year should be the same as it's been the last couple of years, I think.
Should be.
That's how I understood.
What's that, hey, David, on that sheet you just had? The first column. Doesn't it say when we did that, like? Yeah, so this first column, when they gave us this, was fiscal year 2027. Newton County, somewhere around $2 million. So I understand it the same way you just explained it. What we're doing now will be the same next year, but if we want to change 2027, we need to look at the wheel tax this year.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change what she needs.
Other than that, I took it, you feel pretty uncertain about what's gonna happen in 2026 with community crossings.
Yes, just
But
because
it
there's,
shouldn't be much different than it has been in the past in 2026,
correct,
I think.
right.
And I think between, was it Kendall and listening to LTAP, they're trying to force us for this tax.
Correct.
But
Which,
this isn't me, I mean, it's just to help because we are probably gonna be short in property taxes somewhere, and this would help with them.
I mean, of course, I agree, I don't think we have much choice to adopt a wheel tax.
Especially when you have to do it.
But we need to, yeah, but I don't think it's have to do it today or next year's budget.
Right.
We have to do it before the end of the year for the 27.
Right.
I'll have to add more to the conversation, we'll look about the road usage tax,
The what?
road usage tax.
Road, see.
At the second one, what was the second? One? There's two that went through the collection to the BMV.
Well, I think, yeah, there was two ways to do fuel tax. You could.
Surtax?
Yeah, you could do it a percentage wise
Or a flat fee.
Flat, I think, it's at that meeting, flat is equal to maybe, and the other is just so minimal. How do you measure it?
Or it's not one vehicle causes the burden of an affecting road.
Sharon, I have a question on, back to your budget on utilities, gas, water, electric. Remind me why it went up so much from 24 to 25. I know we discussed that as part of your utilities being paid by the commissioners or. And then that's gonna roll into the NIPSCO increase. Next year, or from July of this year through next year. Did you want to bump that up a little bit or how intense is your electricity usage with highway garage?
I feel like we pretty much stay, I mean, it's not, we pretty much stay at a,
You'd have to be as affected as the sheriff was then.
I don't believe, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve County Highways 1176 530 Highway Administration. As submitted with the exception of deleting the $25,000 increase for contractual services and approving the $2,500 decrease and travel and $50 decrease in postage. At 2,000 series.
Second. Motion by Tom, second by Matt to approve the 2,000 and 3,000 categories as requested with the exception of leaving line item 30906 contractual services 50,000 as before. Is that correct? Yep. Discussion. Or approved as requested with the exception of contractual services will be reduced to $50,000 as it was in 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
The other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Matt? Ms. Tool. Where we went to next? 533? 530.
That all stays the same. No increase.
So I assume that the one in here is just, there was a typo where you've got a 1,069% increase. Could have said he only made $4,300.
So, no, that's not, that was my typo error, not hers.
Well, I didn't say whose it was. I just.
No,
said
it was my error. I'm just telling you, that was when we transferred last, well, you weren't here at the last meeting, but we had to transfer. When you guys had me put in the difference, I missed a zero.
Yeah.
So that's why. So she's bringing it back to where it was. So I take full credit.
Well, I didn't.
I'm like, wait, what?
I was just sure it was a typo somewhere. I didn't. It doesn't matter. Otherwise,
I
your
told her
two,
I'd take the blame. Well, it was
3,000 are the same.
Yeah.
So unless you guys want to make a, any changes, they'll be covered under the last. Thing, you want to talk about the 1,000 area specifically, Sharon?
That. I would like to look into bumping up the raises for the laborers. It's hard to keep laborers based on surrounding rates, which I can give you some of those that are, we actually need for the salary meetings, but, trying to keep them somewhat compatible with other highway departments and try to keep people. I am losing another person, someone that's only been there just not quite 2 years. Chasing the dollar. And so I feel like this younger generation is chasing the dollar, and that's kind of what I'm needing to draw in to rebuild highway. So I'm just trying to keep up with wages there and see if maybe that'll entice.
They go into another county or go in state?
They're actually going to the railroad,
Oh,
this particular person. And like I said, I know that, I know you can't, but just trying to get it to where it's enticing enough for them to stay for longevity. Cause I know once that longevity kicks in, it's well worth it. But I just need to keep them here.
Especially if you'd have about a dozen laborers that put force, right?
Well, yes and no. I've got 2 positions that are out currently for workman's comp. One will not come back, but that's still pending. So those 2 seats are empty and I can't do anything with them right now. And then, like I said, I'm losing some a week and a half.
I guess what I'm asking is, you have categories of road foreman, general foreman, labor. And is there a category that's currently unfilled? Because I know you don't have a mechanic. Mechanic is at a higher rate. Do you have a mechanic position that's not listed here? Because I know you don't have one now. Labor also mechanic.
It's
It's in another category.
It's
in the
under
533.
Okay,
we'll get to that.
thank you. Go ahead then.
Anything else? I see you increased your part-time CDL. Have we been able to use that much?
Not lately, but I do know that there have been a couple people inquiring to come back as part-time and help out when needed, so I do look to be utilizing that. Probably. I hope so.
If it's in a different area, I'm not seeing it. Do you have a budget for part-time help?
No, that was taken out. We utilized like summer part-time help, when we would do the mowing. And once that was taken off the table, then we did away with the part-time help.
Any other questions on 531? I will be covered in the first motion, 2,000-3,000 categories. 533,
Like a new truck on the finance?
Yes. Should be getting our 2 new ones that we've been waiting for 2 years on. Should be getting, they're actually being upfitted now.
So what, that $215,000, is that something that we're actually gonna be able to use in 26, or is it gonna be another project that's gonna be drawn out?
Okay, where are you talking?
I'm looking at, 533.
other equipment,
Other equipment? The pug mill?
is that what it is?
Yes. The 375.
Probably did.
That's, we have a pug mill where we can make our own mix, but it hasn't worked since I've been there. I believe it's been struck by lightning twice, I've been told. It's a computer issue, so keeping the balance of oil to stone, we can't use it. So I've looked into getting a new one. if not, I mean, what we've been doing is going all the way to Logansport to pick up mix. And that's quite a haul, taking 3, sometimes 4 trucks to go grab a bunch of mix and bring it and set it here and use it. But to be able to make our own mix, like we used to do, would be very beneficial.
So getting this from the Pug Mill,
Pug mill.
is that also gonna increase, there's gonna be a need for you to increase your funds for gravel and oil?
Gravel, probably not so much, and honestly. Probably the offset of what we spend to go pick it up would, well, we would probably average the same.
So you
With
probably.
the fuel.
transfers and then, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the life expectancy of these things?
Oh, I would say like 20 years. Keep up with it. and
How old
take
do
care
we have
of
now? Oldest one we have now, so we have our lighting twice.
it. Mm,
I think
I
it was
think
there when I came on.
Okay, that's all we're.
yes.
It was, I'm pretty sure it was, the county had that when I came on the council. This is my 18th year.
Sounds like it's not mechanical, it should be, it can, software be fixed, electronics
We've had
placed.
someone come and look at it and.
I mean, I kind of know what their answer is. Oh, we're gonna have new one, but that's really true. Can refit it, new computer.
I don't know that it would be compatible with a new computer, just based on the equipment itself and how updated computers are now. I mean, it would have to still, if you're taking a modernized computer and attaching it to a piece of equipment that probably doesn't have all the connections that you need.
So it's planning to be obsolete or something.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, that's the way they build things.
You know.
yes.
Well,
It is a dinosaur.
over the years, it seemed like Sharon's position seemed to rotate pretty regularly. I commend Sharon. She's been around here probably as long as anybody's been in that seat since I've been on the council. Because of the turnover.
Things got neglected.
Because, yeah, I think there's lots of reasons that contributed to it. They probably didn't get the right people in to look at it when it quit working. And, I don't know, for whatever, now you're sitting there with a piece of equipment, that probably isn't hardly fixable because of what Sharon said, that technology today, we wouldn't match up what it needs, and then from just sitting there not being used, I would guess that there's issues with that.
And the computer board itself, should be put in a temperature controlled environment, and it's not, it's in a little plastic shed. So mice have been in that board. It's just, yeah, it was not taken care of quite the way it should have
So
been.
the computer module is removed from the equipment, it's supposed, it should be stored in safe storage.
Well, so there's a computer on the machine itself, but then there's a motherboard that, you can control in the shed to kind of control your numbers, of oil and to keep track of.
That's detachable.
And yes, it is.
I think something would happen about the time that probably could have got someone in there to actually work on it. The superintendent really didn't want to mess with, but but I got done for a while, and then we changed superintendents. It's kind of been a.
How far is Logansport? Like a 2-hour round trip, or I don't know.
Could make round trip. 2 hours.
And you can make.
No, I mean, are there other sources that you could use, like in Lake County or something, or is it?
I'll just these things 3 hours.
You know what we're, do you know how much we're spending on the logistics each year going to Logan Sport backs?
I could figure that out. I don't have those numbers with me, but I could. I mean, we traveled there several times throughout the year to get new ones.
I think part of the hidden cost by not having a functional plug rail is we don't address problems when they should be addressed.
Yeah.
Because
It's such a chore to do that.
That's a chore to go get the fix you need, and so now we've got roads that are deteriorating faster because we haven't been able to. It's kind of.
So is this used to, like, a type of asphalt?
You know,
Yes.
basically, that's what it does. It's not a hot mix, it's a cold mix, but it does the blending of your oils, gravel, your binders.
There'd be a couple people trained on it.
Yes,
That way if somebody dies or quits, there's somebody to take the realm and keep it maintained.
and that's a huge thing too, is, you know, if we started off fresh with a new one, right now I only have one person that knows even enough about that one, if it were to be up and running, but, you know, starting with the newer one, we can train a bunch of people to understand it and hopefully keep them,
Well, that's the same thing that's gonna happen again.
right, right.
What's the lead time on one of, if you order this today?
That I'm not sure, cause it's been quite a while since I got that quote. So I'll find that out before I'm next. I would say probably, I mean, less than a year's time, I think we could. Something like that.
Wheel and deal?
And they may take a trade in, I don't know, I mean. They may take the dinosaur and piece and part it out or resell it to someone, I don't know, but, I mean, that one is useless to us right now.
I'll make a motion to approve. Well, we won't need a motion if I was not gonna make any changes, so.
Correct.
Well, but there is changes. In the, if you wanna approve this,
Yeah, that would be my motion would be to approve it as it's.
as requested.
So if we approve it as requested, it has the funding for the new pub bill, am I correct?
Yeah. Second.
Second.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Mick to approve the 533 unrestricted as requested. Discussion. I have a question. So this includes a truck and the put milk, is that right?
Correct, which, I could possibly get 2 tandems out of this. Or I did put, a tandem and or maybe a pickup truck. We do need to start changing out some of the smaller trucks. But I'm not looking for new pickup trucks. Used, if we can trade in the pickup trucks that we have. Our pickup trucks, we use those to either haul trailers or, transfer crews out to job sites. Or, for example, our brush crew, 5 people minimum. Only 2 people will fit in the bucket truck itself, so. You know, we utilize those smaller trucks for many different things.
They usually always crew cabs.
Yes.
4 to 5 guys.
Yes. But my biggest thing is I don't need new, I just need something that's not rusting out from underneath
Truck
us.
would be usually used once just as much as. Close.
May as well get something with a warranty.
Yeah. I mean, you can find a fleet deal where somebody turned them all in at $50,000.
Is the pug mill the other equipment?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay.
Netting. What else besides that?
That was just a bug mill.
375. And for clarification, the motion was just for category 2, I assume. Right. Or 4, I guess.
Yeah, whatever, yeah, 4,000.
No, it was not the one.
4,000.
Yeah. So the motion is approved category 4 as requested. Right. Any other discussion or questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, she carried. Now that we've passed it, I mean, I assume the commissioners are on board with that, right? We discussed it.
Well, we
or-
haven't discussed it. Yeah,
But
sure.
the money's there, I guess.
So that she can let us know what she's spending the most, and there's opportunity costs also. And
But I think this, you know, I think you guys play a part in that.
Yeah.
So,
She already presented it back
but the money
in
is in
July.
place.
The commissioners had a talk with all of them, so.
It's nice that you're here, so we clarify this. Thank you. So now we go to a landfill budgets.
About 1,000.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Is it, this, is now that I've corrected it, this includes the mechanic, correct? 11,107.
Back, yes.
In the
We haven't moved yet.
No.
So,
Yes.
You're gonna be looking for an increase for a mechanic, if you can find one, correct?
Well, right now I do have someone that is interim that he's interested in staying in that position. So I'm pretty much, and he is qualified. And he's been doing great, so that opened up his labor spot. So I do have a mechanic right now.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
as of, we talked to the sheriff, he noticed you're not doing repairs on squad cars, but we thought that was because you didn't have a mechanic.
Part of it was that, but part of it is also because of the way our funding is set up. We're really not supposed to be doing outside work other than highway work with the way our dollars are set up, so that their wages are paid with state dollars to do highway stuff. So if we're doing upkeep on other departments and other things, we're really not supposed to be doing that under our wage dollars.
I never.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense, Don.
Yeah.
So that's probably gonna continue that way, where the
Yes.
sheriff department budget for vehicle repairs is not gonna depend on you at all,
Correct.
except for emergency.
That's a shame.
It is.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's- should get around that, but put down mechanics wage and, general budget or landfill budget, or just take it out of that budget, if that's what you want to do.
yeah.
So they're in a separate line. They're gonna make you play a game, there's games you can play.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, in the long run, it would save us.
Say every farmer paid a good mechanic there, everybody could use.
Or put a mechanic in the commissioner's budget that operates on the county highway garage. I think there's a lot there.
Yeah.
That would need to be some more discussion.
County, not just the highway department.
I think there are some opportunities. I think there's some ways to do that.
Right.
Because at one time, there were two mechanics in the highway department. Basically, one of them was to do the outside. Not the
Other departments.
other department.
We was there to help them when they needed it, right?
I don't.
Would that be much of a request on one person? If the money was available, you know, not earmarked specifically for the highway.
I mean, we've done it before where we dedicated like a Friday. You know, I know we would do that, so that's something that it probably could be.
But that was general maintenance. and
Correct.
Oil change.
Oil change.
Stuff like
Yes.
that. The in-depth things, like they had problems with the engine. Obviously, county highway couldn't do that.
No, those things. don't
Right.
something.
But I think he saved a portion. Just changed all of these cars.
Oh, yeah. They put on a lot of miles, takes a lot of oil changes.
Oh, yeah.
Miles. So.
Well, sometimes you gotta watch, because if you have warranties with some of them, unless we get certified.
If you document it, they should be.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I would think that a warranty would be affected by an oil change.
I know that like, for warranty, if there been a law. I changed oil this day. Yeah.
It's gotta be done somewhere. It's not like,
So you just gotta watch. I just have learned. You just don't keep or document, you know.
that's something that county highways did. quite well. And as far as the sheriff's office goes, you know, I was the sheriff, all the oil changes there. We always got a receipt, just like if we went to a mechanic. They had to indicate just what was done, what was used, how much time was spent, it was detailed, so, and they kept a copy of that, while chief deputy kept that maintained.
Ready to move on? In the landfill budget 530 administration. We actually have a decrease in the budget. $3,000. Actual services, I guess. This is where our bridge bond payments come out of.
that what our payment is per year, evidently?
Roughly,
$800,000.
paid twice a year. It's coming down.
Yeah, that should be 5 or 6 years now, seriously,
2035 is,
10 years.
Is one 2034 and the other one's 2036, or they're off by 2 years, because the one of the bridge bond is a 14, and the other one's a 16, so. I think it's 34 and 36. It's 35, 30. Utilization's way up there.
oh, I do have a 33 and a 35.
So I gave some information to Tom on the bridge bonds. Just gonna throw this in, is we didn't even that back to Scott.
Yeah.
So I had a gentleman that came to us, and there is reserve money underneath that it will still stay under BOK, which is the Bank of Oklahoma. But on the reserve funds, we do have an option of the money sitting there that we can reinvest that money. So I have a gentleman, but I don't know if we wanna take that out somewhere else. Jenny and I are gonna sit down and have a conversation, but I did have one gentleman come and give us that we could reinvest our reserve money. That we
And
have.
how many dollars are in that reserve? How many dollars are we investing? We don't have to sense that now. So. Because I was, we're paying off the bond, so why are we investing? Okay. But it's
So I have the reserve in the you should have a little over $106,000. Or maybe more than that. You have the debt reserve, which is 802,000. You still have to have the same amount of money of what the bonds are. You have to keep it in reserve.
I thought there was 4 different accounts.
It is set up 4 different accounts, but you have your reserve money, and that's all they're looking at is your reserve money. The others they can't touch. So we still have money that's sitting, and BOK has put it in a very safe investment. Even if we reinvest the money, we'll still stay in BOK, but we can make extra money if we choose to be. And the one company looked at us and said they could do it like a 3-year. They would only invest so much money in the first year, so much money in the second year, so much in the third. So then as the interest rates come and go, you're not locked in for a full 3 years. They put it in a 3-year tier, so you can keep moving around, so.
I was a little bit concerned about that company that they were going at to do the reinvesting. Because they use arbitrage style investing. And my research on that, I've never heard of it.
Right, they've only been in around about 30 years, is that right?
And my understanding of that, my research is almost scared of what they do.
We call it arbitrage or something.
Yeah, and it's, what I understand of that is that the way they make money is that they take a fund and they sell it on one exchange before. The best way to explain it, let's say you got a fund that is $10 a share. And one exchange is where they'll buy it from, then they'll immediately turn around and sell it on another exchange in another area. It could be another part of the United States or another country that may be selling it at $10.50. And that's how they make the money, but they're taking the chance that, you know, if the sale in another exchange, when it takes place, they may have information crossing over to where the sale isn't final. And then all of a sudden it goes down to the $10 of what they had purchased it originally from the first exchange.
Counting on overnight changes, not catching up with the transaction, picking up a few pennies here and there,
Exactly.
and it's a gamble.
Yeah. So that's why I really have no suggestion or recommendation of what to do with that. I agree that we need to do something to improve our return on that because that, like you said, that they put it in the same type of investment. That's very, very, very safe and less than half of a percent, if I remember right.
The money will still stay underneath our trustee BOK. But, they were just seeing if we could, and he asked if he could come and speak on the 17th, and I was gonna ask the commissioner of council if you guys would like him to speak on that app. But I need the treasurer here also.
Right. I mean, I personally, yeah, I think we need some more information to know exactly, I understand how it works. I mean, the bond part of it, let alone comfortable one.
And we don't have to use that one, but it is something I didn't even realize that we could reinvest that one. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Oh, no, you're fine, but yes.
Oh, you're still here. Yeah, we
Still here.
veered off. So back to landfill fund, right? Did you have something else?
No, I was just going to, make a recommendation of this. To, make a move to approve as submitted. That's again is, landfill 530. 3,000.
For a second.
Second.
I'll second. I heard Heidi.
For who?
Heidi. Motion by Tom, seconded by Heidi to approve the 530 landfill budget as requested. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. 533. No changes, so unless somebody wants to make a change, it will be as 5. We'll adjust some. Anything else, Sharon?
And this is one I could not move out of the bill because she's already cash reserve, so we made some adjustments last year. Throw that in, throw it on her.
Any questions, Sharon? Questions of us? Comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we got behind.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Sharon. Come on up, Jim. E911 at 903. How are you today?
He's fine, how about y'all?
Good, I think. No one's thrown a rotten tomato or anything at us.
Day's not over yet.
Day's not over, there's always time. Probably heard, you've been around here before, the 1000s, we'll do it at the end, we can talk about it now. Looks like I see some decreases, all except for the maintenance contracts, maybe.
Right, so, I've been truing up my budgets for the last couple of years, and the increases that we're seeing this year are with the new equipment and everything, we'll put in new radio towers. The maintenance contracts that come along with those, now that we own those instead of the state of Indiana. We have the maintenance that we have to perform on. So there is an increase, for the new CAD system as well. Right now, we pay, I forget what it was now, I have to go back, it was right at 25,000 for maintenance on the new CAD system. The new one we're going to is 32,000, so there's a slight increase there as well. And then like I said, the maintenance on the new system is about $82,000 a year for the maintenance on those, and that includes the towers.
The new tower at the south base disrupted, I know, one resident's internet service. They were pulling line of sight off of the Gerbrock Tower. It
when the tower went up, they didn't have the internet or highly affected it. It just happens to be right, it was a few feet either way, and I have
Wow.
heard they were gonna try to move their receiver on their house to the other end of the house. Thought maybe they could, I mean, it just happened to be, it went up right in that line.
That's why I kind of love.
Yeah.
I really didn't wonder that, 'cause I knew there was stuff, and seeing the line of that, if it was gonna affect anything.
Well, I know at one it did.
'Cause I know I believe there's 3 dishes on that tower that,
Go Rocks.
well, on Grove Rock's tower, I believe there's 3 dishes on there for vertical horizon. Is what they were for.
It was a vertical horizon customer. Yeah.
Does the county lease out space on in towers as a source of revenue?
We have not yet.
You
It's,
can, right?
we can, yes.
Are you advertising that since?
We do not advertise it. However, I have heard through grapevines that Verizon is very interested in the North Base.
Good here.
I'm really surprised about that, because they got that tower right across the street that nobody ever put anything on. I should say, as far as telecommunication grounds.
On Grove Rock, right? That was originally built as one of the original AT&T towers. This is the one at North Newton. They never utilized them for whatever reason. The Grove Rock owns that one now. He gets $500 a year rent for that vertical horizon equipment. That's all he gets.
It's it.
We attempted to buy that. Before we built the towers, we talked with him. We done a survey of that. There's a lot of work that has to be done with it, but they made some improvements, but he was not interested in getting control of that.
I hope he gets a lot of like taxes, property taxes on that lot.
Well, I know we tried convincing him that, when we went out and looked at it, they actually beacon it down. It hadn't been working for 2 weeks. He still puts up the old traditional halogen bulbs. That he spends more money to put up a halogen bulb than he makes in a year. And that's the reason we went LED, right? We tried to convince him to go LED, a lot better, get more control over that. He doesn't do it, so.
It's a surprise.
All right.
So back to the budget.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the 2,000, 3,000 series. 911-903. That's requested.
4,000 category 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second.
2, 3, 4.
Second.
Heidi beat you. Oh, okay. I didn't hear. Motion from Tom, second by Heidi, to approve the 2, 3, and 4,000 categories as requested. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Jim, you want to talk about the 1,000 category while you're here?
The 1,000 category, the only thing I put in is like most of us do, 5% increase. That's all I put in that one. This budget is not affected like my 1222. The next one is with the salary, because all the salary information, correct me if I'm wrong, with this category is all under the county general. So I don't control it. 1222, it all comes under my budget. Yeah.
Right, but they're just wanting to know if you had any reasons for increasing or what your thoughts.
I just did the 5% increase that we typically put in, but I know the county will have their own. Tammy and I had been discussing, and maybe this is not time to do it, but I believe next year we will make a change and have to move some people back from 1222 over. What's that?
It says, yeah, we've done that back and forth.
Right, on this one, we've moved them back and forth, yes.
Some of them might not. There's lots of new people here, so this budget, is that right, for the next one?
The next one is one.
It's funded by, collection on your landline home bills,
911.
the 911 fee. So, we get X amount of dollars, well, so we put salaries in there until we deplete the fund and they come back. Yeah, they'll go back. But that 911 is one that's been declining because of less and less
Yes, Cause 90% of 911 traffic now is over your cell phone, so. Most people wouldn't have, well, AT&T, matter of fact, you can't even get a copper phone line anymore, so. The old traditional POTS telephone lines, you cannot get those anymore without special provisions. When you do, you're gonna pay for it hard, so, that's the reason most people have gone to either voice or RP. For the internet or your cell phones.
That infrastructure is going to heck anyway, just because of its age.
It is, it's copper, so, you know, a lot of lines are underneath and underground. The, you know, everything is rotting out on those, and, I mean, good examples of South Base, right? South Base has the AT&T service there, and water leaks in every time it rains, there's no service there, so they've gone away from, gone voice over RP.
On our cell bills, we have a 911 fee, so that obviously doesn't replace the landline fee.
It does.
It
So
does.
originally, the 911 fee, we get $17,880 a month, and that comes off of your cell phone. There's a fee, there's two fees on there. There's one for Indiana, and there's a federal charges on those both. We get funding from
We
them.
get it back, it's just different revenue sources.
We hadn't been though, correct?
No, we get it.
Now, but I mean, a few years ago, we weren't getting anything off of cell phones.
Should have, ever since I've been around, ever since I've been doing this, it's, our stipend hasn't changed, and it's always coming off the cell phones.
Does it generate as much money though as what we used to get off the landline phones? Cause
I don't believe it does.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't believe it does. But our stipend since I've been here is 17,000, that's, let's call it 18,000 for round numbers, and that's based off of population. We also have Tammy can correct me, I believe we got three adjustments last year, for the 90-10 split, so. State of Indiana takes 90% of the money goes back to the county PSAPs. We get 90% of the funds that get collected on it, the other 10% pays for the state 911 system, so. They pay for they pay for all the 911 services now. That wasn't 2 years ago, that was all changed, so all the 911 trunking, that's paid for by the state. So we no longer have to pay, well, we used to pay Sprint, SBC, for that services. I believe when Tom was the sheriff, we had tons of equipment down in the basement, we no longer have to pay for that, the state covers that stuff now. After they give out the money, there's 10%, whatever funds are left for that, they divvy it out. We get 1 or 2 stipends a year from that split. That money is quickly depleting, so we are not counting, we never count on that money because they're picking up more and more services so that they get a better contract with AT&T than we can as an individual county. Go statewide, they can get it after better deal.
I'll make a motion real quick. You want to stick around, Dave?
Yeah.
on 1222.
Yeah,
1222 statewide time.
and my motion will be to approve it as submitted, 2, 3, and 4,000 series.
I'll second that.
A motion, Tom, seconded by David to approve the 2, 3, and 4,000 categories as requested. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Talk about salaries specific in here.
This one, the same thing as we did the last time, right? I didn't do anything different on those. I don't have any changes recommended at this time for the salaries, other than 5% that we put in.
It's the coordinator and the 911 coordinator shift pay. I'm assuming that's both the same.
That's myself, so I'm, the 911 coordinator is mine, and then we have $10,000 stipend in there that if I work, if I have to come in and cover a shift, I draw out of that for overtime pay, you know, so. So I typically don't draw from that unless I've worked over 90 hours in a pay period, so that's my,
I know I hear you a lot,
yep.
a lot.
Rotated that around, so we're actually flexing my time, so I'm not, if I'm working the radio, unless this is a bad week, because we're doing a lot of training this week, but if I have to work the radio, I just take a day off somewhere else, flex my time.
Anything else for Jim? Got anything else for us?
No, I would like to add that, you heard me a lot here recently because I've been down two people. One of them comes back tonight. She just came back up from LA. And the other one, is a part-time position. I hope they had filled with a full-time, but she got pregnant. And,
I know it takes a lot of training. to get
yeah,
people.
and I chose not to move her over to a full-time position. She got pregnant and now she's missing a lot of time, so, because it's a difficult pregnancy, so. We're still got that position open and we're actively trying to fill it, but that's the reason. You guys have seen my transfers for this last meeting, transfer to the, part-time budget. You're gonna see another one coming because I'm filling those two positions. Unfortunately, one of my two people that left is I'm not 1222, so I can't move money from 1222 from her line item to the other budget. So that's where I'm moving a lot of money around right now. Other than that, I think we're good to go.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything? Do you have anything, anybody before we break for lunch? If not,
If you have time, I have 4 emails from Susan or different things, so just to let you guys know. Yeah.
us, we got 15 minutes before we get out. We can get out right now. If there isn't anything, we will recess until 1 o'clock. So.
Okay, so lunch at Mick's house is closest or?
Be ready for it, Rick, man. Huh? Lunch at Mick's.
We took a lunch.